Ramsey Ismael, aka Johnny Somali, has pulled one final scam over on his buddy Hank Yoo. We have confirmation of that today on The Legal Mindset. We teach you to be your own judge. I'm Andrew Esquire, American attorney, who's been covering the Johnny Somali scandal and all of his criminal saga from beginning to end, with him behind bars, first in Nambu Detention Center and now presumptively in Chonan Prison, which is where he would be transferred after that case was adjudicated at the appellate level. So he appealed his case, the 6 months was upheld, and he is still behind bars in South Korea. And for those that don't remember the saga or need a little refresher, this is Hank Yoo. Hank Yoo was one of the top allies of Johnny Somali, who provided him literally everything: food, clothing, shelter, pretty much everything he needed to survive, on top of being his Korean translator, setting him up with a lawyer. Hank bent over backwards and did everything to support Johnny Somali, was his most loyal ally. Well, now we see here, and this is the meme courtesy of Johnny Somali on X, that says, Hank Yoo spent tens of thousands of dollars on me for my living expenses in South Korea, which, according to an interview, he spent up to $20,000-$30,000 on this guy. In return, I stole money from him and left him, and there's not a thing he can do about it. And that's Johnny's position, and that's kind of the summary of what happened here, which we're going to get into right now. So we have confirmation. These are legal documents that were provided to various people, including to Fabrarius, who initially had a lot to do with the initial leaks and the initial breaking of the case, one of the people that was a former moderator in a Johnny Somali server. And we have confirmation of documents, notarized documents from Songpa Legal Services in Songpa-gu, Seoul, South Korea, that actually Hank Yoo, Han Jung-yoo, you can see that in the bottom left, was the investor, and Ramsey Ismael was this executor of his investment fund. So essentially, Johnny Somali was investing funds on behalf of Hank Yoo, and he was supposed to give those profits back. So as you can see here, they gave $40,000. That's a lot of money, with 60% supposed to go to the executor, that is Ramsey, and 40% to the investor, that is Hank Yoo. So essentially investing this money with the returns that were supposed to come back to Hank Yoo. Well, we have in a series of messages here between Hank and Fabrarius confirmation that this is out. This is, something that was his final scan. He's saying here, all right, it's over, so I can tell you, don't give this to anyone. Well, too late, Fabrarius, leaked these things. That's how it goes. I mean, that's how it was in the beginning and here at the end here. Fabrarius says, you have my word. Hank says, basically, this is the contract I signed between me and Ramsey. Fabrarius says, oh, you're a smart man. I just didn't want my mom and grandparents to find out, says Hank, and freak out before they transfer the 10% ownership over to me. So I was taking extra precautions until now. Let me find the summary. So basically, you borrowed him $40K. Hank says he signed a contract for it. At first, he showed me charts and S. Then he stopped doing that in August, and he was still looking at trades until October. I thought he invested it. On December 31st, I told him to show me the portfolio. He muttered something, left, and didn't come back for 2 days. Then on January 2nd, I told him that I needed to see the portfolio. He freaked out on me and left the place completely. I gave him this back in January. This is breach of contract. If an investor refuses to show the portfolio, that's a breach of trust, and he leaves. Fabrarius says he is a failed crypto and stock trader. He lost all your money most likely, and I would agree with that. That money is probably gone. He probably gambled that away trying to do day trading or crypto or meme coins, whatever else. So Hank says need to garnish his wages then. Fabrarius says 100%. Well, he signed, he owes you $40K flat, so that $40K is out there. And when he actually wrote him while he is in jail, and wrote him to try to get his funds. And this is the response from Ramsey that has been summarized here. So Ramsey says to Hank, this is a response to the notice you mailed me on July 10th, 2026, regarding the contract being approved and notarized by Songpa. Regarding the contract, I'm requesting you mail me an unedited, unchanged copy of the original agreement from the law firm and notary office. Regarding the demands you have given, I have no legal obligation to provide any documentation to you upon your request or on regular basis, according to the signed agreement. Regardless, I am willing to provide documentation to you, but this is an impossibility while I am in custody. I can only do and will only do so while arriving in the United States. So he's trying to make a point here to say he needs to get out of Korea because he knows, and this is the key here, he can be stuck in Korea for even longer if Hank sues him and pursues this legally. I'm willing to discuss this matter and come to a mutual understanding if you visit me. And I think this was the Nambu Detention Center, which is where he was. Like I said, he may be moved to Chonan at this point. And it's signed Ramsey Ismael. He also says the power of attorney agreement we signed in 2025 is no longer valid. So they apparently had some other agreements. So this is him acknowledging the fact that he did do this scam, but saying, hey, I don't have any responsibility here. And this is something that Hank needs to sue over. Because, and we'll get to my judgment here, it appears he scammed him for $40,000. But if Hank decides to legally pursue this, if he decides to go to court to actually do this, if Hank does not just all talk, and a lot of times Hank, we know Hank, we followed him through all of this, he is all talk. If he's decided to pursue this, Somali could be stuck in Korea for even longer past the 6 years, could be stuck there for a long time dealing with this case, trying to resolve this, dealing with this breach. And I would encourage Hank to do that. Now, some people have said to me, well, Hank wants to be paid for an interview or something like that. I'm not doing any of that for Hank. But what I will say, which is just good advice to Hank, this guy is not your friend, right? Ramsey Ismael is not your buddy. He's not your ally. He's not a person who's in your side anymore. And he's totally betrayed you and scammed you, just like he scammed many of his followers. And just like he pulled the wool over people's eyes with his lies, with saying he was a character and saying he's playing the Somali character. And that's all this ever was. That was a lie. And this scam that he pulled on Hank Yoo was a lie. So I want to know what you guys think about Hank Yoo getting scammed. What do you think? Does he deserve it? Is it something he should have known? Let me know in the comments below, and I will catch you on the next one.